I've never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello everybody, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. It's Tuesday, it's preview day, it's Leeds versus West Ham. To my right is Tommy, you know who he is. You would have seen him around all the West Ham YouTube scene. Tommy, how are you?
Good, yeah, good. Nice relaxing day for me.
Good, mate. Good. Right, Tommy, give me your assessment of Brentford the other day, because it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Thomas Frank had our number, really, didn't he? He set them up tactically perfectly, really. He would have been well aware that we're frail defensively, particularly down the flanks, which is where they hurt us on both occasions. And so he was happy to just have his players sit back, be well organised. I think he felt like we wouldn't be able to break them down, which we didn't. And then they tried to catch us on the counter, which they did a number of times. But it has to be said, I mean, the two goals, didn't come from any kind of classic counter-attacking play. We were just caught out badly on two throw-ins, of all things. Which is I've never seen a team caught out like that on throw-ins, like for a couple of goals. It was just shockingly bad defending. You know, the one where Cresswell was beaten by Mbuemo was particularly bad. I mean, that was horrible. And it just showed up, you know, what we've all been saying, I think, James, for a long time, is that we are very, very weak in our fullback positions. We've been crying out for fullbacks for a long time, but still don't have him, and you know, Cresswell's been a great servant, and he has had some very good seasons for us and been very reliable. His deliveries, obviously, in set pieces, his crosses, you know, have been very important to us in times past. But I think really that Brentford game highlighted just how far back he's gone now, and that he is absolutely over the hill and past it. I mean, he was never a great defender, but at least, you know, in seasons past, we could say, okay, he has some frailties defensively, but he's important to us down that flank for delivering great crosses and set pieces, and he does contribute to a number of goals. But I don't think we can say that anymore. I think all we can say about Cresswell now is that he's just not a very good defender. You know, he's not contributing at the other end of the pitch like he used to. So it's clearly like at least one season too far for Cresswell this season. And we are badly in need of young, fresh, modern-day fullbacks.
I totally agree, mate. Everything you just said there. I've said about Cresswell for a long time. I like Cresswell. He's been a loyal servant to West Ham, and he'll always be remembered for being a player who come from Ipswich, and he's been brilliant in certain moments for West Ham. But I totally agree. This is one season too many for him, and he should have went really in the summer. When Mark left, he should have went and all, in my opinion. But that's either here or there. Right, let's start off with this topic of conversation. Quick one. Will Nayef Aguerd start for you, Tommy?
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. You know, I mean, he was on the bench for the Brentford game, so he's obviously had another few days training. I mean, if he was good enough for the bench at the weekend on Friday, I think come Wednesday, I don't see any reason he couldn't start the game. And you know, with five substitutions allowed now, I mean, even if Moyes feels he probably can't get 90 minutes out of him, you know, 70 would be more than enough. I mean, I think it's very important that we sort ourselves out defensively. We're very rocky at the back, and you know how good Leeds are coming forward, you know, in attack. You know, they'll come in waves, and we're going to have people who can defend and who've got some pace about them. And so for that reason, I think Nayef Aguerd is going to be very important to us in trying to keep Leeds out of our net. So I'd be very, very surprised if Aguerd doesn't start.
I think he has to start, mate. He has to. Like, I think there's no excuses for Moyes not to start this man. He's played for Morocco. He's fit. And I don't want to hear nothing from Moyes saying he needs to adapt to the Premier League, because he's bringing other players in who are not adapting to the Premier League and continuously playing them. So,
the funny thing about that is, James, do you know what the funny thing about that is? I mean, he's just gone to the World Cup and he was he was excellent at the World
I thought
Cup.
it was brilliant.
And he's playing against a different country every game with different types of players and different style and different setup and different tactics. And he excelled in every game. So this bollocks about, he needs time to adapt. Didn't need time to adapt to playing a different country every 3 or 4 days in the World Cup.
Against good attackers and all. Like when you look at the attackers he was up against, he went up against idiots. He was up against really good players, some of them, especially Spain. When he played against,
Spain. I doubt
Spain.
I doubt Leeds are going to show Nayef Aguerd anything he hasn't seen before.
Exactly that, mate. Exactly that. So I totally agree. So we'll make this one pretty short and sweet. He has to start. For me, I think Tommy agrees. He has to 100% start if we're going to get a positive result. Moving on, though, Tommy, to this. Should Moyes drop Paqueta, in your opinion?
This is a tough one. I think ultimately, if Moyes cannot get him playing, then he has to stop playing him. I mean, if he can't get Paqueta contributing to the team, particularly going forward, I mean, he's always going to work hard, Paqueta. I think his attitude is good. And he will get stuck in. He's not a prima donna. He doesn't mind putting in a tackle. He doesn't mind closing down and helping out, at the back and doing a bit of graft. But ultimately, he's there to score and assist, going the other way. So, if Moyes can't get a tune out of him, then essentially he's a passenger, a very expensive passenger, but a passenger nonetheless. And I think at some point, Moyes has got to put him back on the bench and bring someone else in and try something else because it's just not working. I think against Leeds, I think Lanzini is a kind of player could do well in such an open game, where there's going to be space and they're going to leave themselves open to the counter-attack. Someone like Lanzini could do a great job in there. He doesn't need to settle, obviously. He knows what it's all about. So there would be a temptation to put Lanzini in for me, actually, in a game like this, where it's going to be a very open game, and Lanzini's really clever, a clever footballer, really good passer, good technically, can keep hold of the ball. And we're going to have space. On the break, we're going to be able to open them up. We're going to be able to run with the ball in open space often because Leeds are very attacking and they will allow for that counter. So if they can't get a tune out of Paqueta, then maybe someone like Lanzini could come in and do a job for this game.
I sort of agree, but just not with Lanzini. For me, I'd bring Fornells in here. I really would. I think Fornells. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what is going on there. It's like a crime or something. Do you know what I mean? He's committed a crime or some sort. Lanzini ain't a bad shout. Paqueta's an hard one with me because there is a talented player there, and it'd probably be the ideal game for him, really, because if there is loads of space, he's going to get the ball. The only thing with Paqueta that irritates me at the minute is he's too slow when he's got the ball. Like he's too slow to release the ball where the ball should be moving fast. He's very lackadaisy with it, and that irritates me. Do you think Moyes will drop him though, Tommy, or not?
I don't think he will actually. No, I think I think that would be a very bad look for him. I think he'd be very slow to drop him because a hell of a lot of money was spent on Paqueta, and by dropping him from the team, I think he's essentially admitting that he cannot get Paqueta playing, that he doesn't know what to do with him, that he's given up on it essentially. That wouldn't be a good look for him. No, like you say, maybe this will be the game that he has a bit of a breakout game because there will be more space and a little bit more time on the ball sometimes in the middle of the park. So maybe this will suit him. Maybe we'll see a better performance from Paqueta. Maybe we'll see an assist from him. Who knows? But I think it would be a bit embarrassing for Moyes to have to drop him, to be honest.
Totally agree. Everything you just said there about, basically, you've got a £50 million play you don't know what to do with. So, listen, I totally agree with you 100%. We'll move on, though, to this. The starting lineup for you, Tommy. I'll let you go first. Reel off your starting lineup for that game and what formation that you would play.
I would go 4-3-3. I
I
like the
agree.
formation. I think we need those three in midfield. Make sure we can get hold of the ball. Have enough possession. I think against Leeds, possession is something we can get. You know, they play such a high tempo, such an attacking game. They will cough the ball up. You know, they will make mistakes in their passing because they're doing everything at such a fast pace and tempo. I think we will do quite well in the possession stakes in this game. And again, I think we need players in the midfield there. They're going to be able to use it. So 4-3-3 for me. As always, Areola in goal. It's always Areola for me.
I agree.
Yeah. The back four, I think obviously we've spoken, Aguerd has to play, and Dawson is the obvious foil for him. I'm worried about the age and kind of lack of energy that I saw in that Brentford game. And particularly at the back. I mean, the age profile of our back four is shockingly bad. So I would like to lower it. I'd like to see more youth and energy and drive in that back four. I would play Harrison Ashby at right back. I don't care if he's leaving or not. I don't care if he's leaving. We need points, and we need them now. We need wins. So I would play Harrison Ashby at right back. I think he's a cracking young player. He'd be really up for it. You know, he'd be delighted if he was starting up at Ellen Road. You know, and he's a really good young player. I like him. Lots of energy. He can get up and down that line all night, no problem. And that's why on the other side, I would actually play Ben Johnson at left back. I think he is solid defensively, and he has enough energy again to get up and down that line for 90 minutes. Now, I know he's not brilliant at crossing. I know that his weak point is maybe his deliveries. But I'd be working on that and training with him, you know, a little bit. You know, maybe he doesn't have to be the one who whips the ball in at the end. He can just pop the ball back and let someone else whip it in, or he can just look to pass inside around the edge of the penalty area along the ground or something. You can figure it out. But I think defensively he's quite strong. And some of his best games for us actually have been at left back. So I just want to lower the age profile of that back line and put a bit of youthful energy in there, because I think we're going to need it against Leeds. They're going to come at us, and they're going to come at us with pace. And we need to be able to handle that. So I think Ashby and Johnson would be able to handle the pace and intensity of it better than Sofal and Cresswell, for example. So that would be my back four. I don't know if you want me to continue on, or do you want to do yours?
No, go on. Yeah, go on. Give us your starting 11 and I'll do mine.
Yeah, I know I said if you were to drop Paqueta, I'd maybe look at Lanzini in there, but ultimately I think we've got to get Paqueta playing, and like I say, this might be a breakout game for him, given, you know, that there will be opportunities to go forward with the ball. So what I've the three I would have is Rice, Fornells, and Paqueta. There's a midfield three. Again, there's three players that are good on the ball, and you know, are good passers. I know Paqueta has misplaced some passes, but I think overall, I think he's pretty accurate. Fornell's accurate with his passing. So is Rice. All of them can carry the ball forward with the ball at feet. They can drive forward, which I think we'll need in this game on the counter. So I'd love to see that three. I would still like Declan Rice for me in this game would be a proper DM. Like Declan is forget this box to box stuff for this game, Deck. Fornells and Paqueta are going to do that stuff tonight. You know, you're going to sit like you do for England. You're going to sit and you're going to shield that back four, and you're going to play DM for this game. And then the front three kind of pick themselves, I guess. Is this Scamacca up top with Benny on the left and Bone on the right.
I agree. For me, personally, I agree with Areola, what you said about Areola. I'll start off with the centre halves. I think Aguerd has to play. If we're going to get something out of this game, Aguerd has to play in this game. I'd go Dawson next to him. I agree on that. Left back, you got Emerson, who gets a bad rep, really, but he can't play left back. You got Cresswell, who just can't defend. I agree with you. Ben Johnson, again, left back. Right back's an interesting one for me. Cafale's actually played not too bad in certain games, right? But he will get done. Like their pace on that side is frighteningly good. I've said for a long time about Harrison Ashby. Watched a lot of him at under 23 level, local to me, and he's a quality player. And if he leaves this club this month, it's a disgrace. It really, really is. Would I play him? For me, I would play Kerr in this game. I think he's got the pace factor to deal with people on that side. I think Kera at right back is better than Kera at centre half. I think he's a lot better at right back, and I think with Aguerd in there, two pacey defenders, we might have half a chance. Do you know what I mean? So that'd be my back four. Three in midfield.
Can pass the ball as well. You know, Kera's a very good passer of the ball.
He can pass it and all, and I think really he looks really, really bad, Kera, at the minute because he's playing centre half. That's the problem. Like I think at right back,
left centre half as well, which left centre half is not his position. Even Zuma, you know, was a fine centre back. When we played Zuma at left centre back, I mean, he looked really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I totally agree. Three in midfield for me. Rice. I would play Paqueta in this game. I don't know why, but I would. I think we because eventually it's got to click. Eventually, hopefully,
we have to make that work. We just have to make that work.
And for me, it's a toss of a coin between Flynn and Fornells for me. I think we need energy in this team. Right, this team's dead of energy. Like the press is dead. Everything's dead at the minute, right? And one thing with Leeds, they will press us. So I think you have to play Fornells as like a third midfielder, possibly as a number 10, like him sort of pressing and moving the team up the pitch. And then up front, it's pretty obvious. It's got Ben Rama, Bowen, and probably Skamaka for me. Just like I think Antonio is sort of more of an impact sub now. Do you know what I'm saying? If Fornells does play, and I can't believe I'm rooting for Fornells to play in this team, but I am. I think we look a lot better. I think we can push further up the pitch. I think Aguerd, if he plays, and Kera, you've got pace that if Leeds do break on us, you've got 2 or 3 players at the back there who can get back. Dawson's not fast, but Johnson, Kera, and Aguerd, they're rapid. They can get back and defend, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? So that would be my starting 11 for that game, 100%. Right, let's get to this, Tommy. Sort of last couple of things. How do we get a positive result in Yorkshire? How do we go about getting some sort of points, if not point, in Yorkshire, Tommy?
Because of Leeds' style of play, we know what they're going to do. They're not going to do what Brentford did. You know, they're at home. It's just not the way they play football. They're not going to sit back and dig in and try to catch us on the counter. Right from the first whistle, they're going to come at us. You know, they're going to come in waves, and it does leave them vulnerable. So for us to get something out of this game, we have to make sure that we're able to counterattack quickly and effectively, because that's where they're going to be taught. And unfortunately, that's something we've been piss poor at for a long time. Our ability to counterattack, which used to be our strength, is now one of our greatest weaknesses. We're just not scoring goals. I think, last 5 games we've got, I think, maybe 1 goal from open play or something ridiculous like that, James. It's
Ben Rama against Palace.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we're really struggling there. So, I mean, that's really what Moyes should have been working on since the Brentford game. Is okay, here's how Leeds are going to play. We know what they're going to do. There's going to be no surprises. And from looking at what they're doing, this is how we're going to hurt them going the other way when we win that ball back. And it has to be fast. We've got to get that ball from back to front quickly. And that's why I think we need that youth and pace in the side. We've got to be able to get up that pitch really quickly once we win that ball. So obviously Benny's got some pace and he can carry the ball out. You know, Bowen has a bit of pace about him. He can carry the ball. Skamaka's quite quick. You know, so you know those 3 operating up there, I think, can have some joy if we can get the ball up there quickly. Which is why, you know, I want to have those passers in midfield. Fornells can pick out a ball to any one of those 3, a quick pass, and put them in and get them running at a fullback one-on-one or running at back.
Do you think, Tommy, that the team without the ball has got the best chance of winning this game?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think, I think if Leeds were smart, they probably should look at the way
Yeah.
Brentford set up against us and
Mm.
say, okay, there's the blueprint. They can't score goals. And we've got some quick players and we're good going forward. Like, they should actually sit back and let us have the ball.
Yeah.
And then when they win it, they hit us on the counter. We're really weak at that. Like, when teams sit back against us, we ain't got a clue. Moyes hasn't got a clue what to do against teams who sit back. Not
I
a
totally
bit.
agree.
But Leeds, thankfully for us, Leeds ain't going to do that. They're going to keep coming forward and try and score goals. So I think of the kind of games we've got coming up, this might be the one where we've got the best chance at nicking a win. Because Leeds will do what Leeds do. And we will get chances to score in this game. I have no doubt of that. We will create opportunities to score. Leeds will do leave themselves a bit open. The only question will be, can we take them? It's going to be, again, Jane, it's going to be that final pass, that final ball in. Is it going to be good enough for once? Because we've really been struggling with that final ball. I mean, we had a huge amount of possession in the final third and in Brentford's half, last Friday, and we could do nothing with it. So this time, it's that final ball is going to have to be better. If we're going to cross it, it can't be just general balls just dumped in, hoping someone can win it against the centre back or two. Any balls that come in have got to be aimed. They've got to be put to Scamacca's feet or on his head. They've got to be favourable.
I don't even think they should even be crossing balls in. I think they should be trying to play the ball on the ground. Really, because someone said it to me the other day, and they said, James, when we're crossing balls in, do you really think Scamacca's going to score with his head, like every time the ball's coming in? And the answer to that is no. I just don't feel it. Like, he's not that sort of, how can I put it? He's not that sort of striker where he's going to bulldoze his way through and smash it on his head and like try and direct it towards goal. I just don't see it. Do you know what I mean? He's more.
He's not Duncan Ferguson, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. So for me, I just think the balls.
I think in this game, in this game, I think it's a game that will suit Scamacca as well, as he will get those opportunities to make those darting runs in behind. So through balls through in behind Leeds defence are going to be really important because they're going to be on. Scamacca will make that run in between the centre backs or in between the centre back and full back. Bending his run. And he'll make those runs in behind because they will come out the field a bit. They'll hold a high line when they're attacking. So when we win that ball back, it's got to be like that, back to front really quickly and looking for those runs from Benny and from Bowen and Scamacca because we can get in behind them. And so we're going to have to be really sharp. And so hopefully when we've got the likes of Paqueta, Rice and Fornells in there who can all pass the ball and can see a pass, hopefully, we'll get some joy in there. But like I say, I think we'll beat them on the ground. Now, the other thing I'll say though, I don't know if you saw the Newcastle game, but how Newcastle didn't score 2 or 3 goals from set pieces, I'll never know. Leeds were all over the shop on set pieces, like defending set pieces. They were all over the place. There could be a goal in this for Dawson as well. He's one of the best centre backs in the Premier League at attacking set pieces. So don't be surprised if Dawson gets on the end of one and nods one in. They're dodgy on them set pieces defensively, Leeds. We could get some joy there as well.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree with everything you just said, especially about the set pieces. We'll move on to the final thing, which is predictions. I'm going to go first, and then Tommy can have his final say. For me, I think West Ham might win this game. I don't know why. I've got this feeling, but I'm just feeling that this is make or break for Moyes in one way. I think Leeds is the perfect team to play right now because they're going to come forward and they're going to leave space and a lot of it. It's just down to us. Jared Bowen, Said Benrahma, Paqueta, Scamacca, them 4 players, including Declan Rice, have to perform in this game. They have to. If they don't, then we get done. We've beaten twice over the last 2 years, 2-1 at Ellen Road, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 again. I don't know why. I just got this feeling, like last 24 hours, I've been thinking about it. I think, you know what, it would not surprise me. We go up there and we win Like, and then everyone will go, oh yeah, like, dude, thank God 2022's over. Do you know what I mean? And it's 2023 now. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1. Maybe I'm being a bit optimistic. Aguerd has to play though. If Aguerd plays, then I'm confident of a 2-1 win. If Aguerd don't play, I will take a draw right now. I really, really will. And that's how much it. I think the defence is key to this game. I think if we can get the defence sorted out, we might be all right. If we can't, and we go with Kehrer at centre half with Dawson, I do fear the worst. I will be honest. So 2-1 for me. Tommy.
Yeah, this is a game. I think, despite how poor our form is, this is a more winnable game. For the same reasons you just said, I think they will give us opportunities to get at them.
I agree.
My worry is that Moyes is going to do what Moyes always does. We're going to be too plodding at the back. My worry, like I say, he's going to play Sofal, who's not getting any younger, doesn't have any pace. He's going to play Cresswell, who can't really do the box-to-box thing anymore. Isn't great defensively. Dawson, we know, will play, and Dawson is an old-school centre-back. He doesn't have any pace. He's getting older. Who he plays beside him, if it's Aguerd, that will help. I think it will be Aguerd, and that will help.
Yeah.
But I still think that leaves us really, really vulnerable down the flanks. Like, really vulnerable. That lack of pace and lack of youth and energy on at fullback really, really worries me. Before the Arsenal game, we were talking. It was just thinking about Martinelli and Saka was a nightmare. I couldn't,
Yeah.
and because we're so weak down there, and of course that's what happened. They both scored. So I have a worry about that. Now, I know Leeds don't have players of the same caliber as Saka and Martinelli, but essentially we'll get the same kind of treatment down the flanks. And I really worry that Moyes is just going to stick with the same old, same old. It's going to be Sofal and Cresswell, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And that really worries me. And I think that blunts us going forward, particularly down those flanks. Everything's just going to be slowed down. Everything's just going to slow down. Can you imagine a quick ball going out to Benny? And then, if he has to kind of turn back and need support, Cresswell's going to be like plodding down, trying to get up the pitch to give him some support. And then everything just slows down. Same on the other side. You're going to be waiting for Sofal to come up. Bone's going to be waiting for Sofal to come up and try and support a bit. And he's going to be taking his time getting up there. And all of a sudden, Leeds have got everyone behind the ball. So it worries me. We should be able to win this game, but I don't think we will, for the reason that I don't think Moyes is going to pick that team that we just picked whatsoever. My worry is going to bring Sofal back in. That's the honest, or Souček, excuse me. That he's going to bring Souček back in for this game. I really worry about that. And if he does that, we're fucked. So I don't think we're going to go there and win. I do think, like you, that we'll score because these do leave themselves open for the counter, and we might catch them on one. And also set pieces, they're weak. But the way we're going, I just think we'll have the same old failings largely. Lack of pace, just aging team, particularly at the back. Slow, ponderous counterattacks. When have we last been really quick and dangerous on the counterattack? It's been a long time.
Not for
a long time, and we used to be brilliant at that. We used to terrorize teams on the counter. But it's just all gone completely. Everything is just so plodding now and pedestrian. And I've no reason to think that will change tomorrow evening. So unfortunately, I do think we'll lose. And I do think Leeds will find a way through, particularly down the sides. I think they'll cause all kinds of problems. I think we'll get turned over 3-1, if I'm honest.
3-1, Tommy.
Yeah.
Dear me. I hope you're wrong, but listen.
Well, listen, have you seen our defending, James? Those 2 goals against Brentford were fucking shockingly bad. Absolutely shocking defending. And you know to be Sofal and Cresswell again.
Yeah, listen, I don't not disagree with you, mate. Listen, I totally agree. Our defending has been absolutely shite this year, and it's painful viewing. But to watch us play now we're worried about a game rather than excited about it. So I totally agree. One thing I will say before we sort of wrap this up: Jared Bowen's going to get a lot of stick tomorrow night. because of his connection with Hull. He has to turn up. If he wants to prove something to Leeds fans, that is a big, big game, because he gets a lot of stick because of the Hull connection.
Yeah.
And listen, if he can turn up and we can get these players turning up, then hopefully we might get some sort of positive result. I don't know. I just feel something. I just feel something with West Ham tomorrow. I feel something might just turn. Do you know what I mean? I think it's getting so much for Moyes, and I think Declan Rice, no one's seen it. Declan Rice has been coming out on his Instagram and saying all this about, like, people have been calling him out for throwing his hands up in the air. I just think it's just going to implode tomorrow night in either a good way or a bad way. But it's going to. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel something. I don't know.
No. Maybe I've often had those. I've often had those gut feelings, and like this is absolutely winnable. We will have opportunities to hurt them. I'm just doubting our ability to do it on what we've seen for the last 12 months on this side. I hope I could be wrong, but look, even just fucking law of averages, James. Look, we're going to beat somebody sometime. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're going to win a game somewhere along the way. And it could be this one. It could be this one.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Totally agree. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Tommy, for coming on today. I really do appreciate it, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Gentlemen. Please do smash a like on the video. It goes a long way. Please do subscribe to the channel. It also goes a very, very long way. I done a show the other day, a phone-in show, which was absolutely brilliant. I had loads of people on. I will be doing that again. Thoroughly enjoyed talking to different West Ham fans. Some people are very much Moyes. We've got to keep Moyes because what else can we do? We can't change. Some people have the adamant, like me and a few others, even Tommy. No, enough's enough. He's got to go. One thing I will say before I do go, tomorrow night is a big, big game for him. I think if we go there and we do get destroyed by Leeds, then it's becoming unbearable, right, to watch West Ham. And then you've got two massive games against Wolves and Everton. So something's got to give tomorrow night. Will it? 2023, I've got new hope. Trust me, I've got new hope. But we will see what happens. Anyway, have a good Tuesday, and I'll be back tomorrow night after 10 o'clock with the lads. Please, West Ham, give us a win.
There it is. I've never found a love like this.